So I saw a story with Rab Shalom Shbadron, alav shalom. Rab Shalom Shbadron, he made it's his life mission to walk around Mahane Yehuda, Shuk Mahane Yehuda in Yerushalayim, before Shabbat, telling people, close your stores for Shabbat. They used to do it every year over here. I don't know if they still do it, the Shabbat parade. They go around, usually Parashat, I don't know what Parashat Noah or something, maybe. They go around and they tell all the stores to close their stores on Shabbat. On Shabbat, they go and they tell them close their stores on Shabbat. Baruch Hashem, many did, many followed. And Rab Shalom Shbadron did that before Shabbat. Erev Shabbat, he would go, Shuk Mahane Yehuda in Yerushalayim, would walk around, tell them, remember, Shabbat is coming. Few minutes of Shabbat, an hour of Shabbat, make sure your stores are closed. He used to go with a Hacham by the name of Rabbi Ezra Barzel. He used to walk around and make sure that everybody closes their store for Shabbat. In Shuk Mahane Yehuda, it doesn't exist today. Back then in Shuk Mahane Yehuda, there was a long line of barber shops. And they get to one barber and they see his store is full. Minutes before Shabbat. There's a long line. So Rab Shalom Shbadron, alav shalom, he tells the guy, it's almost Shabbat. What are you doing? It's almost Shabbat. Forget Shabbat. I have business over here. He says, Kabot Shabbat. The sanctity of Shabbat. Kabot Shabbat, you're supposed to close. He says, my Kabot Shabbat is bringing in money to my house. That's my Kabot Shabbat. That's what makes me feel good. Rabbi, please, do me a favor. Go find another customer. You're wasting your time over here. Fine. He says, I tried my best. I couldn't do it. The next week, they go. They try to convince him again. And they see that on the sign it says store closed. Maybe he finally closed the store for Shabbat. So he asks people around there, is he closing the store for Shabbat? No. He got a heart attack. Okay, so where is he right now? He's in the hospital if you want to go visit him. Okay, we don't have time right now to go visit him. We'll visit him next week. The next week they see that store closed. He's still in the hospital. They go visit him in the hospital. They find out which hospital, which room. They go visit him in the hospital. So he sees them. He says, you followed me even to here? To the hospital to tell me to close my store on Shabbat? What are you doing? So the rabbi says, no. The two rabbis say, no, we only want your mother's name to pray for you for the Refuah Shlema. But by the way, now that you saw that you got a heart attack, maybe you should reconsider. She says, well, why should I listen to you, rabbis? So they tell him, we promise you that if you close your store on Shabbat, you will go back home like nothing happened. Rabbi, is that a deal? That's a deal. Okay, I promise you an hour and a half on Friday afternoon before Shabbat, I'm closing my store. And sure enough, that's what he did. Lasted a few months. After a few months, they're walking Friday afternoon, back to the very same spot, the store's open. Line out the door. They go to the guy. What's going on? Did we make a deal? Rabbi, you didn't make a deal. But I want to tell you one thing. I go to shul, to Bet Knesset 2 times a year. His father's yard site and his mother's yard site. He said he was there on his father's yard site, and in the middle of praying shahrit with tefillin on, he sees that there are people over there with long beards counting money in the middle of tefillah. He says, this is what they do. They call themselves religious. This is what they do. Religious people, instead of praying, they're counting money in the middle of tefillah. I don't want to do anything with these people. I don't want to have any affiliation with this religion that this is what they do. So the rabbis tell him, no, you can't stereotype the whole religion because of 2 people. No, that's it. I don't want to do it anymore. And he kept his store open on Shabbat. The moral of the story is that you don't realize that your actions go a very long way. You might think that you're only affecting yourself, but it's affecting other people also. That's what it means. Zeman kapara lechol toldotam, for generations on end. If you say one word of Lashon Hara here, you never know who's listening. It could affect people in the end of the world. Lechol toldotam, for generations, not only a physical action, a word. And we see today with the advent of technology and all the social media, one word here in a few seconds. Forget about it. I remember when the internet first came out, you had something called AOL. So AOL, you had to get a 56K modem. Well, first it was like even low. And then they made it 56K, then 144K. It was very good. However, it made a very annoying noise. until you finally connected. And Baruch Hashem. But even when you connected, it was slow as molasses. It was very, very slow. And then if you wanted to send a message, they had something called Instant Messenger. They still have it. People don't really use it. Instant Messenger. You wanted to send a message, you would send a message to your friend across the world. But still, it took time. But today, forget about it. With a WhatsApp, I could send something here to Israel. Before you press the button, it's automatically over there. You say the 2 checks, you write it. Shalom al Israel. Videos, audio message, everything. You don't understand what's happening. When you're throwing a word here, it affects generations on end. That's what it means. Zeman kapara lechol toldotam.